steal. Mahomes scrambling to the right side and threw across his body on 4th down and 9 for 48 yards. Gone! The Chiefs have tied the game at 24 apiece and fired at sidearm, maybe submarine like Dan Quisenberry. And the Chiefs snatched victory from the jaws of defeat to the Ravens. 27-24 Chiefs in overtime.
It's Chiefs, it's Ravens, it's two of the best teams in the entire AFC. And to help us break it down, we are going to welcome on Good Morning Football's Peter Schrager, a noted Patrick Mahomes champion. Peter, we appreciate you joining us this week on the game preview video.
No, man, this is awesome. Thanks for having me.
Well, the first thing I want to know about is what are you so excited about with this matchup on Sunday?
You know, BJ, I got the opportunity to do the sidelines for Ravens versus Cardinals last week. So I've seen this Ravens team up close and personal. I got to meet with the Ravens players, and they're no joke. This is going to be the best challenge the Chiefs have had all season so far. And I'll tell you this, one thing I'm excited to see is how Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy and Mike Kafka and the gang prepare for a Wink Martindale defense, because this Ravens defense will hit you. They will hit you hard. They will get after you. And I watched them bottle up Kyler Murray in that red zone where Kyler would get right down the field and then all of a sudden would get in that phone booth and couldn't put it in the end zone. It's a great matchup last year right there in Arrowhead. I can't wait to see the offensive genius go up against the defensive genius of the Baltimore Ravens.
And that's one of the things Mahomes said today is this is a defense that those guys are always going to be in the right spots. And they've got 43 quarterback pressures through 2 games, and that's not having one dominant player up front who's doing everything. It's everybody doing their job, and a great scheme that allows those guys to get pressure. My question for you is, we all have seen the comments by Earl Thomas now saying that he's going to take away the big plays. And Mahomes was asked about it today. I'm curious, what are your 3 key matchups for this game, for the Chiefs when they're trying to attack this Ravens defense, and then on the other side of the ball as well?
I think, it took a little bit for Earl to get comfortable in that Ravens defense. From what I hear, in the last couple of weeks, he started to be more of a vocal leader in Baltimore. He didn't want to overstep his bounds early on in that deal. And when he comes out with a comment like that about the reigning MVP, it tells me, watch out. Earl Thomas is going to come hitting, and he's no joke. The other matchups I would look at, Eric Fisher's a big loss. I think that's a huge loss because this Ravens defense, they come at you. They're flying. They're looking to hit. And I think the offensive line is going to have to adjust. And then lastly, the Ravens, they have this great defense. Their offense is pretty good. And I think Lamar Jackson, what impressed me the most last week doing their game is that the Cardinals would put 9 people in the box. And the narrative's been, oh, look, Lamar Jackson can pass. Lamar Jackson can pass. Guess what? They put 9 in the box. A couple different times, Lamar Jackson squeaked out and ran 10 yards. He could still run. So I want to see if he's able to get those 3rd and 6 first downs with his feet, see if that Kansas City linebacker crew can stop him.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on Marquise Brown, because he seems they have some new weapons. They have the 2 guys from Oklahoma, and Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown. Just what does Marquise Brown do for them offensively, and how is he helping out Lamar Jackson?
Dude, he's really small, and that's not to be insulting him. I was shocked. Got to meet him in person on Friday and then at the game on Sunday. He's small. He's 170 at best, but he fights through contact. And for whatever reason, him and Lamar have already found a connection. I think through midway, maybe the 3rd quarter, it was Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle, and maybe the other tight end, Hayden Hurst, who had catches. Mm-hmm. And only Marquise Brown was the receivers to catch a ball. Yeah. Later on, they would get Boykin a pass. But they don't have many receivers on that team. They don't have many receivers that they love. I mean, Willie Snead's out there. There's a couple other guys. But if Lamar is looking for a receiver, a pure receiver, it's Marquise Hollywood Brown. And that's crazy considering he barely practiced this summer. He barely practices during the week, and he's still 75%. But this kid, you're hearing comparisons to Tyreek Hill. I don't see him in that vein just yet. I think Tyreek is one of the best game breakers in the sport. But outside of Marquise Brown, if you shut him down, it's the tight ends, it's the running backs, and I'm not sure Lamar trusts those other receivers just yet.
Peter, who is the most important player in this game that people aren't yet talking about right now?
I think the player that no one's really talking about in this game is McCole Hardman. I think McCole Hardman is going to have a big game. We know he had the 72-yard pass that was taken back for the holding penalty, but I think this guy is bound for a huge breakout performance. Played well last week, played well in week 1. But I think Mahomes to Hardman is going to be a connection that we're going to see this week.
We joked about earlier this week because Sammy Watkins went off week 1 against the Jags. It was Demarcus Robinson's turn last week. So just naturally, it looks like it's Mecole's time to shine.
Yeah.
So I get all the questions about fantasy football, and that's the natural progression.
He had a
he's the next man up.
72-yarder that had nothing to do with him. He just burned his guys. That should have been 7 points on the touchdown. That should have been 13 fantasy points right there. So I would say that is what I would say to all the fantasy owners. You got your look. It just got taken back for a holding.
Yep, absolutely. Now finish this sentence for me. If the Chiefs win on Sunday, it's because...
Yeah, it's because Mahomes and that offense just can't be stopped. This is the number one defense in the league, if you ask me. The Ravens are unbelievable, and they continue to suffocate every opponent. If Mahomes continues to play like this, no one's stopping them. And that, Patriots are waiting, of course, but for the meantime, this Ravens defense is going to be the best challenge they're going to face outside of the Patriots. And if they can light them up, then watch out, world, they're coming.
Couple more quick questions. First of all, on the Chiefs' defensive side, it was a question all offseason, completely revamped it, brought some new energy in there. Just what's been your early impression so far through 2 games of the Chiefs' defense?
Good. I mean, look, they're down 10-0 early, and Spags and that defense put the clamps on the Raiders. I thought Derek Carr looked good early. I'm like, all right, and then you see the interception. Okay, well then here we go. 2 weeks in, now again, the Jaguars' offense with Minshew, he completed 22 passes, but they were already up how many points? I don't know if I really value those 22 passes as much as others did. And last week they shut down the Raiders. So let's see. I mean, this Baltimore offense is better than they were last year when they came in against you guys, but I don't think they're as high flying as the Chiefs just yet. If the Ravens win this game, it's because they win 23-20, and that's how it is. The Ravens aren't going to win this one 45-42.
Yeah, it's going to be a great measuring stick for both teams. And Peter, before we let you go, we're going to put you on the spot. What's your prediction for Sunday's game?
Yeah. It's tough because I really was impressed with Baltimore. But man, oh man, this Kansas City team is just high flying, and that building is such an advantage. I have the Chiefs winning 30-20, 10-point win.
You just made a lot of Chiefs Kingdom happy. I know it doesn't have anything to do with the final outcome, but they value your opinion. They've been championing Mahomes from the very beginning. So we appreciate your time. Do you have any parting thoughts for us before we let you go?
Parting thoughts. I'm walking around the streets of New York, and that is an actual porta potty, guys. That is it. Can you see it? That is just, that is the beauty of New York. Final thoughts. Enjoy this era of Chiefs football. It's been a while, and I want everyone to savor it because you never know how often these things come around, and this kid is the real deal.
Awesome. Peter, we appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks so much, man.